Today, humanity has grown to over 8 billion people, and yet, we find ourselves in the middle of a global epidemic. Loneliness. This is especially true for younger generations, where so many are caught in deep isolation, disconnected from society. But how can this be when there are more of us than ever before? And what impact is it having on our lives? That's exactly what I want to explore with you today. I'll take you on a journey to uncover the answers. But a quick heads up. This episode is going to be intense. I need you to really focus because I'm about to reveal things that discover. Alright, let's step into the vortex of loneliness. Chapter 1. What is loneliness? It's very possible that you yourself are experiencing loneliness without even realizing it. That's why I always say awareness is more important than intelligence, because no matter how smart, strong, or skilled you are, none of it matters if you lack awareness. The first step is simply recognizing that your enemy exists. Let me be clear, loneliness isn't simply about being physically alone. You can be surrounded by people and still feel utterly alone. In fact, feeling lonely in a crowd is far heavier than being by yourself. To make this concrete, I take you on a short tour and point out a few signs. If these sound familiar, there's a good chance you're dealing with deep loneliness. First sign, a persistent sense of emptiness. No matter what emotions used to move you, anger, grief, joy, excitement, you now feel nothing. It's as if you've become a shell, without feeling. Second sign, your emotions are unmanageable. Maybe most of the time you feel none. But whenever an emotion does surface, it overwhelms you. You'll be hit by waves of intense sadness, or find yourself crying without a clear reason. You snap at the people around you over trivial things, and often you don't even know why you're so angry. You feel profoundly different from everyone else. Family, friends, like nobody truly understands or cares. There's no one you can fully open up to, no one who really gets what's going on inside you. Fourth sign, you start asking questions you never used to care about. Suddenly you find yourself wondering, what's the meaning of life? Why were we even created? What's the point of it all if, in the end, you feel drained all the time, with no energy to do anything? You don't feel like picking up your friend's calls. You can't focus on work. You don't even have the strength to shop for basic necessities, or to talk to anyone at all. Sixth sign, wasting massive amounts of time. Hours slip away while scrolling through social media, gaming for long stretches, or binge watching movies, and instead of helping, it only makes the loneliness worse. Seventh sign, neglecting yourself. Maybe you've stopped brushing your teeth, or you can't be bothered to get a haircut. Days go by without a shower, without even tidying up your room. By now, you should have a clear idea of whether or not you're dealing with loneliness, and that's why I need to clarify something important for everyone listening. What I'm about to say might sound a little complicated, but I promise it'll all make sense in the end. That's my word to you. Chapter 2. The Lie of Mental Illness. Mental illness. We hear about it all the time. We even know there are psychiatrists we can go to. Sometimes we're told that going to a psychiatrist, getting diagnosed, and taking treatment will make us better. But here's what I really need you to understand. Psychiatry itself is a lie. I want you to hear me out until the very end, and then you can let your own mind be the judge. We all know the type of frauds who claim to be spiritual healers. They sit in front of incense, put on a show, and scam people, taking advantage of them, whether it's financially or, in some cases, even exploiting women physically. Sadly, even today, there are still people who fall for these scams, and it usually comes down to two main reasons. Desperation. When people hit rock bottom, exhausted and broken, they'll try anything, grasping at every possible solution just to find relief. I've always been fascinated by human nature, and I keep noticing that almost every case of mental illness, and most importantly, depression, almost all cases come down to one core reason. People simply don't feel important in society. By our human nature, we all strive to matter, whether your goal is buying a car, becoming a president, or simply bringing happiness to others. These ambitions are driven by our need to feel significant. Without other people around us, We wouldn't even set these goals in the first place. To feel valued and connected, we need relationships. That's why the foundation of every society and civilization, from the dawn of time until today, has always been communication and connection. Humans are social creatures. Yet when the focus is shifted entirely onto depression, anxiety, or social phobia, people lose sight of the real cause. Most are trained to grasp the deeper truths I'm pointing out, but I am talking about the organizations and systems that promote this approach for their own benefit, keeping the cycle going. No, psychology itself exists and is real. I'm not saying psychology doesn't exist. It is vast, intricate, and complex, but much of it operates in the shadows. Dark psychology, often used for manipulation and control. It can recruit followers or mislead people about someone's true intentions. That's why many so-called mental illnesses are more illusion than reality. In a moment, I explain why. And more importantly, who benefits. Trace history back, and you'll see that depression is actually a fairly modern concept. It was first popularized by English scholar Robert Burton in 1621. Burton wasn't a doctor, let alone a psychiatrist, and his book The Anatomy of Melancholy, while presented as a medical text, was actually literature and philosophy, not medicine. So maybe it's time to question whether depression, as we know it, truly exists. Chapter 3. How you are pulled into the spiral of loneliness at its core. Depression is just a tangled mix of sadness and emptiness, born directly out of loneliness. But if we fight depression, instead of addressing the real cause, loneliness is like trying to battle smoke while the fire inside the house keeps raging. Now it's clear. Loneliness is the root of almost every mental struggle. Yet you rarely hear about it the way you hear about depression or social anxiety. And this is exactly why the new generation is being pushed into isolation, cut off and alone, making it easier for them to be controlled. Stay with me, because from here, things get darker. The younger generation faces a massive problem. And it all starts with your phone open Instagram, and suddenly you're watching other people's lives unfold. You see models flaunting their luxury lifestyles, their beauty, their parties, and endless fame slowly. Your own confidence takes a hit, maybe even disappears entirely. Worse, you start resenting your own life. Contentment is good, but don't mistake it for settling or giving up. Never settle, always aim to improve yourself, but at the same time, learn to be happy with the life you have, even before changing it. Now, back to the point. Spending hours every day glued to your phone? Your social skills weaken, and it's no surprise if social anxiety starts creeping in. On the flip side, isolation pushes you toward another trap, trying to fill the emptiness through pornography. As men, it's natural to work hard to connect with women, but when access is instant, right on your phone, with countless women at your fingertips, your drive to achieve anything real. Attachment to these toxic platforms. Your confidence diminishes, and the addiction deepens. This weakens your bond with the real world, because everything you think you need is already in the digital world, and so you spiral deeper into loneliness, even if your life seems full of people. That doesn't mean you won't feel lonelier than ever. Imagine a whole building filled with lonely people, each unable or unwilling to truly connect with another, too afraid to open up. This is when the danger becomes real. It turns you into nothing more than a consumer, endlessly strolling on TikTok, hopping to Instagram, eating, drinking, and numbing yourself with porn, living without purpose just to serve them, so they can extract every drop of value from you. Swole behind all this, governments, every single one, along with the hidden forces controlling them. They own the news you consume, the social media you scroll through, the journalists, the authors, even the armies and police, and your personal data. Here's the equation in simple terms. Loneliness equals depression plus mental illness. Mental illness equals a society weak from the inside, people reduced to mere consumers, which equals more profit, power, and control. Chapter 4. Escaping the spirally of loneliness. Or haven yet, I'll show you a way to break free for good. Or even avoid falling into the spiral in the first place. Because, believe me, there are people profiting from your loneliness. It's one of the most profitable and advantageous conditions for them. I want to show you a path that truly restores your free will, not just the illusion of freedom, but the real thing. The solution has 4 main parts and I walk you through each one. Every time you apply one of these steps, trust me, they'll feel better and happier. First, technology. Technology looks helpful, and it does save time and effort. And it saves us from many things. But unfortunately, no one is talking about the harms of technology at all. But spending long hours glued to your screen robs you of many good things in life, and replaces them with harmful side effects. To make it clearer, let's assume you're an average person using your phone about 4 hours daily. And I am sure that 80% of you use the phone more than that. Those hours feed social media companies, literally draining you. After hours of scrolling or gaming every day, you haven't really gained anything meaningful. In reality, you have caused harm to yourself because you didn't exert any physical effort, and you isolated yourself from the real world for a long period. So your social skills decline. Don't be surprised that social anxiety is rising daily. Someone might say, I enjoy my time on social media. And yes, it feels good, because it keeps giving you hits of dopamine. But this addiction is as harmful as drugs. Technology is a major factor pulling you deeper into loneliness. Beware, as not harmless, just because it looks friendly. Second, pornography. I'm not here to tell you what you already know. Like, porn is bad for your brain. Anyone with a thinking mind can see it damages your instincts, your brain, and your manhood. But the problem runs far deeper than that. As men, it's natural to work hard, build a family, and ensure its future. But falling into the spiral of porn destroys your fundamental drive to work. Why work when pleasure is instantly available online? You become addicted to artificial pleasure, triggered by women who don't even know you exist. After a while, emptiness fills your chest. Self-loathing creeps in, and you realize you don't want more porn. But still, you can't let it go. You will feel like you don't need these sensual things. Deep down, you know all this is temporary and fake. You want someone who truly loves and cares for you. But the truth is, you are alone. This spiral has drained your social skills, robbed you of self-development, leaving you addicted to things that aren't real. A lonely person, physical effort. Many don't realize this, especially the younger generation. They think they need rest, when what they truly need is effort. For physical exertion is one of the best remedies for mental struggles. Overthinking alone can make small problems feel huge. Look, I am an overthinker, but this is completely by my own choice. Because when I managed to control this aspect, I started using it in a way that benefits me. I found that there are some useful aspects to overthinking, but only if you can control it. Therefore, if you exert physical effort, you won't have the energy to occupy your mind with trivial topics. You will start sleeping better, and your sleep, along with not overthinking every little thing, will help you become a person who lives in the moment you are currently in. For example, if you are at a social event and want to do something specific or talk to someone, you will start overthinking what might happen next. However, if you are a person who lives in the moment, you won't care about what people might think, and you won't even care about what might happen later. That's why you will go and do the thing you are thinking about immediately. So you will go and do the thing you are thinking about immediately. And this thing, as simple as it may seem, will open many doors to numerous friendships for you. It will allow you to acquire social skills in a much better way. Therefore, you won't even suffer from something called social phobia in the first place. And before we move to the last point, I want to highlight something essential. If you are a father or a mother, please listen. Do not give your children phones or electronic devices before the age of 13, at the very least. And when you do give them, keep them under your supervision, because aside from all the bad things on the internet, it's a shame for a child to become addicted to dopamine because of a phone at a young age. I mean, over the past few years, I have seen many very intelligent children, but after a period of using phones and apps like Instagram and TikTok, or even listening to children's songs on YouTube, I found that they had become foolish. This is certainly because a child is still in a growth stage. They must move, they must fall, they must get hurt, they must learn the meaning of pain, and by the end of the day they must be tired from a lot of playing in real life, so that they sleep deeply and grow up in a healthy and sound manner. I won't make my speech longer than this, but I hope my idea has gotten across now. Finally, and the most important thing, self-acceptance. At some times in your life, you will be alone. You might be away from your family and essentially alone in a different place. Here, you must be mentally prepared to know your problem before it even starts. You must accept that you are alone and that you will not continue in this state forever. You don't have to think negatively about your solitude. You can consider it a period of isolation for your psychological rest, and be confident that you will not remain alone, because no one was created in this world to be alone. When you accept that you might be alone, and yet you won't be alone forever, so it's okay. At that time, it's true you will be lonely, but you won't be afflicted by imaginary things like depression or social phobia. This is because you will know it's just a period, and everything will become all right, and that you are capable of endurance and adaptation. And in fact, you must have self-acceptance in everything in your life, even with the problems you face in life in general. You must accept them and try to find solutions for them. I want you to understand something. If you are stuck in a vortex of he's trying to control you and push you into this vortex, but you remain stuck in it, it is your fault that you are not moving forward. Do not look at how so-and-so has more money than you, or how so-and-so has everything handed to them on a silver platter. Do not think that so-and-so has more friends than you, or that they possess things that you inherently have within you. Continue on your path, because you are different. Your difference is your distinction. You are the only one capable of changing your life. Believe me, if you decide to give up, even God will not help you. If you decide to end your life right now, God will not stop you. God will help you. He will grant you success, and will bring people into your life in a way, because as the saying goes, no one was created to be alone in this world. There are people trying to manipulate you. Therefore, if you want to prevent them from manipulating you, you must watch the video. Peace.